Here's a clip from the Southwestern Lead app.
I'm shocked that I did not realize, being non-tech savvy, how insane it is with what people can do with their pictures. I was telling somebody a story earlier about a girl I know who basically sent me a picture. She was wearing clothes and stuff, but she looked way different than when I saw her in person a week later. And I was shocked. It was so obviously apparent. She had photoshopped everything about herself. She was more tan in the picture. She was thinner. She was muscular. And I didn't know that was a thing. Is that a thing?
That is a thing. That is a thing. It's crazy. You can do literally anything with your pictures nowadays. And people do it, right? They make their butts bigger. They make their waists skinnier. They make their arms smaller. They fix the shape of their face. I mean, you can literally do anything. It's essentially Photoshop that's accessible for 14-year-olds.
So I've got red hair. I'm not tan. I can't really tan well. And I'm in decent shape. I don't have like a 6-pack or 12-pack, but we could use these tools to make me tan and have a 12-pack.
We should do this, and we should put it on.
And I could post it online.
Yeah, we can do the side by side. It's perfect.
And I could say, and I could even like promote some workout routine I did and maybe make some money.
Yep.
So that's the thing. I did not realize that people do that in high school. That isn't insane. Is there like, does anybody ever get called out for it?
Totally. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to edit,
we don't want to give tips on how to do this effectively, I guess. But.
Right. But here's the thing. People will edit themselves standing behind a wall with lines behind it. The lines will be curved. You can see where they've brought the waist in, right? And that's a really big part of the self-worth. Almost every single celebrity will do this. It's not reality.
Here's what my thought is. If you're going to make yourself look really good online, you're naturally setting yourself up to disappoint in person.
Yep.
I would rather do the opposite.
Yes.
I would rather make myself look less attractive online. Therefore, when I meet somebody, they're like, oh, wow. It's like the whole theory of relativity, you know?
It's so funny you say that, because I had that exact conversation with a friend a couple weeks ago. I was like, the majority of girls I meet, we went out, he was meeting a girl that he met online, and she was a lot better looking online than she was in person.
Always.
And so we had this long conversation, and we both agreed, like, yeah, I would rather my Instagram, all my pictures be like pretty good, but people are like, wow, you look amazing when I see you in person, right? Like I don't know. I feel better about that.
One time I dabbled a little bit with some online dating apps. One of my main picture was a University of Tennessee orange shirt with no sleeves. It was like the most rednecky looking thing ever. It just looked like a guy trying to make a sleeveless shirt. But
sure.
Yeah, I feel like I achieved that. People, when someone was interested, they were always way more impressed in person. A couple of people said that.
Yep.
Social media. I'm the older generation. I will say sometimes the only things that make me feel older than probably college kids sometimes are social media and music. I mean, I think the music of late is kind of crap, and social media is where I don't really connect and relate as well. So when we talk about social media, just to kind of lay down the spectrum, my first account I ever had was a MySpace. Have you ever had a MySpace account?
I actually did have a MySpace. It was like the year before they shut it down. So that was my first introduction.
It was kind of cool at the time. You would click on there and there'd be all these colors and a song would play.
The song, yep. The personalized.
And like sometimes certain people, you'd sort of make fun of them because maybe they'd have like Nickelback Photograph would come on. And then certain girls would have some more racy song and sort of supposed to be an expression of who you are. But then, that obviously got bought out or died. I remember the first time I got a Facebook, I was like, this is really boring compared to MySpace. But obviously Facebook it's just to kind of lay it out properly is sort of, is not really what the kids use that much anymore. That's more older folks, moms and dads probably. Instagram would probably go next. You have an Instagram account, don't you, Nadia?
I do have an Instagram account.
I do as well. I just don't use it. Maybe Snapchat. We'll discuss that. You have one of those as well.
I do have one of those.
I do. I don't use it. How about TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
I am not on TikTok, actually. I was. And then I realized that they on purpose, there's no clock. So I don't know what time it is. So I've been scrolling for hours. And before I know it, I've been sitting in the same spot for 5 hours.
But you were entertained.
Oh, I was very entertained. I was too entertained. My algorithm knew exactly what I wanted to see, and it gave me all the good stuff.
Okay. And then I don't know if we really count this, but Twitter. Are you on Twitter?
Oh, I love Twitter. Twitter's my favorite one, honestly.
Twitter, some people think Twitter's a dumpster fire. Some people think it's a great way to sort of just know at least what people are talking about, and even if they don't engage on it. Here's where I'm going to start with. And then once again, I'm going to come off a little bit like the grouchy old guy, and then you correct me where I'm wrong. But humans have always had a need to be validated, and I understand that. Social media took it to a whole nother level because it just made it so easy. And here's my problem. The reason I got off social media, and I need to learn how to handle some of my own issues probably better, but I got to a point where 90% of the time I got on there, if I took a measure of the number of times I got off social media and felt happy compared to either in a bad mood or thought everybody was stupid, it was like 90-10 in the annoyed category.
Sure.
Mostly because I'd look at posts and either disagree with something somebody posted, or I'd look at pictures and it just either make me feel it's kind of like this, like I'm glad you went to the World Cup. I don't care to hear about it every day and see pictures of it. Or I definitely don't care what you had for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever posted one of your meals. If you went to a really nice, I never have understood that one. And to a certain degree, I don't care about all the ins and outs of your relationship and why your boyfriend's the greatest ever and that kind of thing. But it's sort of become I guess I always make fun of the kind of concept that the world needs to know everything, where some things I think are better and more pure if they're kept private. But bigger problem society-wise would be, I think, just the fact that it creates a false reality that can affect how people view themselves and their current life. And here's my one example. I'll turn it over to you and say what you think. What is Christmas like at the Kahn household?
Oh, it's great. I mean, my grandparents live 5 minutes down the street from us. My aunts and uncles live 20 minutes away. So we get together and we have our Christmas Eve party every night, or on Christmas Eve, do a big dinner. And then Christmas morning, we all get together and we open Santa's presents for the kids. And it's more time together. It's funny that you say that, because this past Thanksgiving was the very first time when capturing what was going on camera was super important to people. I noticed that, like, my aunt and my sister and a couple other people, they're like, oh, we have to get this on video. Is this good content? Is this a good picture? And it kind of took away from like the cheer and I don't know.
But like I suspected, it sounds pretty perfect.
It's pretty good.
It sounds like a perfect little scene. See, I grew up and I had, love my family, had a decent family and a good upbringing, but we were a little bit weird, if you can imagine. And I used to grow up watching too many movies about like high school life or Christmas, and you get this picture of what it's supposed to look like, what's normal. And I do feel like sometimes that made me sort of feel like what's wrong with us versus enjoying the holiday for the right reasons. I definitely was influenced by, Hollywood depictions of sort of what the perfect high school life was like, and probably made me make some poor choices at times. My point in bringing that up is I can't even imagine what it's like if, things like that did that to me. I can't even imagine what it's like sort of living in the fake world of social media. So you're younger, you're just out of college. What's your take on social media, the good, bad, and the ugly?
So I like to think that I have a different perspective on all of this stuff. And I think having done, the internship that we did together and meeting thousands and thousands of people and getting a glimpse into their lives, it's kind of made me realize, like, I'm not that special. And like you said, nobody really, if I don't care what other people think about, or if I don't care about other people's lives and what they're posting, the majority of people probably don't care about mine either. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I was in middle school and high school when Snapchat came out, when Instagram came out, when all these things had just started. So I didn't grow up with them, which was really good, right? And now I do feel bad for the kids who are literally introduced to this in, 4th, 5th grade.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy because it really does create, like, a part of your self-value and your self-worth comes from, it's just ingrained in social media. Honestly, it's an addiction for the majority of people my age and younger and even older, right? Like, even my parents' generation, they're on Facebook. That's their whole thing, right? And I'm sure the majority of people can remember our parents saying, like, don't believe everything you hear read online, all this stuff. It's really tough to know what to believe, but it's so easy nowadays, and it's such a part of our culture to share every thought that you have. And I think that's why people are so polarized on things, because it's so easy to express how you feel. And that's more on, like, I don't even want to say political side, but on the, idealistic side and opinion side.
I was going to say this. I will admit, I'm ashamed to admit this, but, the times I have posted things on
on social media, I would be probably what's called, I guess, a troll. I'm sort of just trying to mock something or type something funny. And once again, that is another way of needing validation. I'm very aware. But it's weird because I would hate to admit this, but it was only probably like 4 or 5 years ago I posted something, and I got really excited about checking back to see how many likes it got. These are people I don't even know that well, but then I would check how many likes, and it stopped going up. And then I'd even look to be like, who liked it and why didn't certain people like it? And it kind of drove me nuts a little bit. It became like a little addiction. So that was in my 30s or something. I can't imagine what it's like if you were in middle school or high school, if that's your chief goal, is not only posting and getting validation, but then seeing how many likes you get. That's a weird world to live in. Let's go a little bit deeper into, have you ever felt any negative effects from your own social media? Feeling like, I don't know, how's it ever made you unhappy?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I've definitely fallen into that trap of, I want to post this picture. I want people to see it. I want them to think I'm cool. I want to get likes. I want people to comment on it. And it is so easy to become prey to that. I'll post maybe twice every 6 months, maybe.
I was going to ask how much you post or how much you use all those things now.
Well, the thing about Instagram nowadays, it used to be great because you would only see the people you were following. You would only see the people you actually wanted to see. Nowadays, it's all these random accounts that are promoted and this and that. And it's less so MySpace or Facebook, where it really is just the people you're friends with. Mm-hmm. And it's people selling things. It's influencers. It's
because a lot of people that utilize these techniques are what we call influencers. I'm sure a lot of high school kids probably think that sounds like the coolest thing ever, to be an influencer. I kind of look, I don't know. There's not too many influencers I'm impressed with, maybe none. What is your take on influencers? And I do have a couple of friends that are quote unquote influencers that make a decent amount of money doing it. And I don't want to sweep with a broad brush, but
I think there are different levels to influencing, quote unquote. When it's all about the influencers who are literally just about the surface level stuff, like the beauty and the literally doing like the TikTok dances and that sort of thing. Those are just entertainment. And the main target audience is middle school and high schoolers. Mm-hmm. The only influencers that I'm actually interested in are the ones who are teaching me things. I think that's really cool. Like travel people.
Like how to cook.
Yep. I was going to say that. All the people where I feel like I'm gaining.
You're like, you can learn a line dance from somebody on. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And just if I can like broaden my horizons a little bit. And I also feel like if I can see somebody's videos and glance, and it's not just mindless nonsense. And again, I also have influencer friends, so I don't want to.
Don't hate us, influencer friends, if you're listening.
Influencers, yeah, good. We still love you. I think a lot of kids, like my little brother just graduated high school, and he grew up more so with all this stuff. And so something I always warned him about was like, don't try to be something you're not. Like if you're going to do this, and I think that's what my favorite people that I learned from online are the people who you can tell they're being super authentic. But yeah, I stay off of Instagram specifically. And I think that's the most important one to talk about because that is where people are posting themselves. So yeah, once every 6 months, twice every 6 months. Because like I said, I've gotten to the point where I don't care anymore. And it took me a really long time. And it was really difficult to get to that spot because I lied to myself for a while, telling myself I didn't care about it. When in reality, it was just like you said, I would post and then I would look. I would want to know how many likes I got because we get a rush of whatever the
dopamine or whatever.
The happy chemical when we see people commenting and all the likes coming in on our phone, and that's what people get addicted to. The worst enemy that comes from Instagram and social media is comparison and comparing yourself to these people. But I think what we forget when we do fall prey to that is that people are only posting the awesome things about their lives, right? Like we're not seeing any of the troubles they're going through, right? Any of the bad things, the fights with their parents, the fights with their significant other.
What's going on in their head.
Right. Yeah. What's actually going on. And we all know by having good friends and having a community that people are very deep, layered. There are parts that you have to dig and get to, right? But those are just not the things that we see. And it's so easy to want to be like the girl who's, promoted by our favorite clothing brand or do this and that. When in reality, I just can't imagine. And this is me personally. I can't imagine going out and having an awesome day with my friends or doing something fun and only caring about getting it on camera.
That's something I rant about a lot. It's people are somewhere supposedly having fun, but it seems like they spend half their time taking pictures of the event. And the bigger problem, as social media has become more popular and kids have started using it at a younger age, many people obviously draw a correlation between that and the rise of mental health issues amongst teens and identity crises and all that. So what is the advice? What is realistic? Because I think if we obviously said don't use social media, that's not going to happen. Or if somebody listening, this is in high school and they're excited about having 1,000 followers and getting up to 10,000 someday, it's not like they're doing anything wrong. However, you've probably been on both ends of the spectrum. What would you say is the ideal amount of usage, and what advice would you give people to use social media, use it effectively, or use it in a way that they can have fun with it, but not have it be a detriment to their life?
Sure. Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. Social media isn't the worst thing in the world.
It's great for keeping up with people.
Right.
Like I know Trey's on a mission trip because I checked it. Yeah.
Half the people we know, I feel like, okay, I have a vague idea of what
I
they're
have friends
doing.
I know are at the World Cup because I saw
Right.
one picture. Yeah.
Yes. And, 30 years ago, that's just not, you wouldn't know. That's not, So anyway, it's not a bad thing, right? Being on there, keeping up with your friends, enjoying it healthily is not a bad thing. But when it becomes unhealthy is when you start doubting who you are and questioning if you are worthy enough or if you're as good as this person when you see them post. I think that's when it becomes a bad thing.
The problem with comparison that it creates, along with the need for validation that it seems to, in my opinion, sort of pour gasoline on that fire.
And I'm not going to lie. I felt pretty, I was a part of that in high school and college too, right? I mean, even now I still sometimes have to take a step away from it. And I think that was the biggest thing, was that I was able to not be addicted almost. And when I found myself feeling badly every time I checked my phone, I deleted all of them. I deleted everything. And I went for, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, just to kind of give myself a break. And by doing that, it just gave me a little bit more perspective on, like, this is my life right now. And it made me enjoy things more, right? Not that I'm not still taking pictures all the time and because that's how I have my memories and that's what I do. But I don't need everybody to see that.
I'll say one cool thing I kind of regret is not having when I was younger is it does provide a neat little timeline of pictures of your life. Like, I would make this statement from my own experience. I think this is a fair statement to make. It's interesting because on social media, the internet, you have way more courage to sometimes say anything out of your mouth compared to in person. You're willing to say things on a little thread that you would never actually say to someone's face. And we've become sort of a society that is really brave online, but not in person. But I would say that's probably a piece of advice I've learned is it never serves you well to have some type of debate, especially political, on any type of thread on a social media site, or never helps you to denigrate somebody. It just escalates quickly, and it's weird. It'll turn ugly really bad, really quick. Also, I think it's, I would encourage some people listening that it's okay to be don't be afraid to be unique and independent and be the person who doesn't give two craps about social media. That makes you, nowadays, you're kind of the contrarian cool guy now with that. At least that's what I'm going for. But anyway, any other tips for parents or kids how to handle social media well? Not need validation, all that good stuff.
If you have to take a step away from it, take a step away from it and don't feel badly about it, right? It's not the worst thing in the world to not be a part of something. And I think that's where a lot of the fear of deleting it comes from, is the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And side thought, it's funny, living in Nashville now, it used to be bloggers, right, who did all the travel and the cool stuff. Now the term blogger is obsolete and it's all influencer.
Mm-hmm.
So I meet these people out in town, actually. And
here in Nashville,
every now and then I'll bump into them, and girls who are posting constantly about the coolest clothes and what they're doing. Like, the majority of those people, when you do talk to them, they don't know how to have a conversation. Like, they don't know how to actually interact with people, because maybe it's because they spend a lot of time with their content. But by seeing that, and by, being in a place where influencing is really big. I've put a lot of merit and a lot of value into meeting strangers face to face and just seeing how much more that means to me and how much of a better communicator I've been because of that. So
exactly.
Consider doing a digital detox if you have to. No devices unless you need them for school.
Kind of feels good.
Or work.
Feels good to go
does
off the
feel
grid a
good.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who, I mean, she's been off she did a month-long detox. This was 5 years ago, and she still doesn't have an Instagram. And she's one of the happiest people that I know.
Sort of makes you mysterious. No one knows what's going on with you. You don't care, think about other people. It's great.
So here's another last topic, and this is one that I get in the hot water with, and I feel like I get people arguing with me all the time because this is where I feel like an old grouch. But my whole mocking phrase, "the world needs to know," and there's a lot of things people post where I'm just sort of wondering, why in the hell did you post that? No one cares. People really don't. Once again, it's a little bit different between somebody like showing a picture that they just arrived at some country and they're doing something. That's cool. We can all keep up with you. But a lot of stuff, I don't care about your dog. I don't care about minutia type things in your daily life. Some people just post all day long. It's got to create this whole thing of sort of feeling like, I don't know, you're important or thinking people care. I guess some people do. And I guess maybe these people want to become influencers. Maybe that's their drive. But in reality, it's sort of, and I could go into a whole rant about relationships. I created a whole acronym making fun of relationships in my mind that seem like they're driven just for validation. But you say you post like twice a year? That little?
Yep.
On Instagram too, huh?
Yep. That's the only place I would post, really. And then maybe Facebook for my family.
Do you ever, when you've been in a relationship, have you ever posted a ton of stuff about that on there?
When I was in high school, yeah. When it was
like you had the best boyfriend ever and he was so great?
Less so about that because I never liked the people that did that stuff because that's a little uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a little yucky. But here's the thing. I think there is a right way to do social media. With all of this being said, at the end of the day, we have to understand that it's not just about being famous. It's not just about wanting people to see you. I think the people that do social media the right way, and I'm not saying that I've done it exactly the right way over the years. I think I do a lot better of a job now, but it's when you post for yourself, when you post for the people who are close to you, who you know will genuinely enjoy seeing the things about your life. Because if I think about it, there are definitely people who I'm like, wow, that's a really cool picture. Like, I'm glad you posted that. You're confident. You feel good about that. But there's a line when it becomes too self-indulgent.
Too much overexposure.
Yes. None of it is bad until it is detrimental to you and how you feel about yourself, like I said earlier.
So I think it's, like I said, I come from the old school, but too much, if you overexpose yourself, you kind of remove any mystery or anything unique that people share too much about themselves online sometimes.
I don't want people to know about what's going on in my life. Like, every now and then, if they get a little glimpse, that's cool, that's fun. They don't really need it. They don't need to know.
Yeah, it makes them more intrigued.
Yeah. I'd rather meet people and make good connections in person and with people who genuinely care about my life versus those who see me post 3 times a week and feel like they know me. And obviously, I'm not here to lecture people like delete your social media, throw your phones away, but recognize in yourself what's a healthy level of caring about other people's lives.
Awesome. Well put.
Southwestern Lead is an international leadership program that helps you build skills, gain confidence, and discover new opportunities. With professional coaching, a world-class digital learning platform, and certifications that will enhance your resume or application, Lead sets you apart. We'll show you how to turn success principles into success habits through small group training, one-on-one coaching, and guided action plans to help you apply what you're learning. It takes more than academics to reach your goals. See what one of America's oldest leadership training programs can do for you. Visit southwesternlead.com.